Good morning, intrepid readers. I'm finally doing this on a Wednesday morning like I used to. Still feeling a little behind, but much better. So let's see. What do you want to catch up on? We had, so a couple weeks ago I wrote about the mystery of change, big changes, and talked about this petition for our local gym, for my local workout place, LA Fitness. Finally got the petition written out and started bringing that to the gym this morning and have already about 35 or 40 signatures. Excuse me. And I'm giving it to my friend Mike Becker to take on a Saturday morning because I don't go to the gym on the weekends. Sorry, the weekends are the weekends. And I'm not supposed to be stressing myself out with too much sweating at that time. So that's the update for that. This past weekend's blog is a fun one. I thought it was fun, called The Mystery of Magic. And it's basically about the magical creatures that inhabit our house and hopefully your house too. So 2 weeks ago, my oldest son had, he has this baby tooth right here that is covered with a crown, like a silver crown. He had a cavity in it when he was like 5, and they covered it with a crown. And it's been loose forever. It's been loose forever, and we've been trying. There's a tooth growing out underneath it. It's jacking up his skeletal system, or all the things that we worry about as parents, whatever. And we've been trying to get him to get it out, but it's not coming out. He keeps working it, not coming out. So finally last week, my husband was like, okay, we're getting the tooth out. And so we did that. And then it was very painful for my oldest son. It took a long time, like pulling teeth, to get that tooth out. And anyway, it was an ordeal. And then to add a little misery to that situation, the tooth fairy forgot about the tooth. And so there was nothing there but the tooth when he looked the next morning. And, oh my goodness, it was like, oh, big trouble in Little China, no tooth fairy. And so I told him, I'm like, you know what? She probably had given up hope that the thing was ever going to come out. And so therefore, that's why she didn't jump to on the reward. So anyway, she figured it out the next morning, and there was a nice little crisp $20 bill in the container where his tooth was. So that was good. But all this came right around Easter. So it's coming close to Easter, and my husband and I are out walking because with the Easter bunny to get the candy for the Easter bunny. Which, by the way, the Easter bunny must have heard about that debacle with the tooth fairy because he went way, way overboard with the Easter candy. And if you look at my blog, there's a picture on the ottoman of this ridiculous amount of sugar in a pile that was left there by the Easter bunny. So anyway, Jim and I are walking with the Easter bunny to the store to get the Easter candy. And he wants to know, Jim wants to know, not the Easter bunny. Jim wants to know what my memory is of the time that I realized the real identity of the magical creatures in our house. And I told him I can't remember. I don't remember at what point I knew the actual identity of the tooth fairy and Santa and the Easter bunny. But I told him about this really cool memory that I do have, a very strong memory that I do have of those creatures. And I was probably 4 years old. I think I was 4. And we used to live in a little triangle. Like here's the house where I grew up. Can you see my hand? Here's the house where I grew up. Here's my aunt and uncle's house. And then up here across the street, the tip of the triangle is my grandma's house. So that was our cool little triangle. And we would have all these family functions at one of the 3 houses all the time. So it's around Christmas time, and we're at my house with my dad And he looks at a light that's crossing the sky. And he points it out to me and he's like, look, can you see? It's Santa. That's Santa. And sure enough, I hear the jingling bells of Santa's sleigh. At the time, I'm watching this light go across the sky. And it was magical. It was an amazing and magical time. And my being able to see the leather strap with bells on it that we have, that I still have in my house, being able to see that and gaining an older person's understanding of how airplanes and satellites move across the sky at night did nothing to dilute the magic of that moment. I will never forget that. So I don't remember when I learned the identity of those magical creatures, and I don't care because I believe, and I will always believe. And I don't know about the debacle of the tooth fairy and the late thing. I don't know if my oldest son is starting to get a glimmer of understanding about the identity of those magical creatures or not. But we will do our best to get him to the point where he knows, but still believes. Because that's the magic. It is not a mystery. It's magic. And I would love to hear what you think about this. So until next time, I will say, stay mystified. Can never find the button. Here's the button. Here's the smile. Bye.